How do you feel about $23 silver? Heck, just 2 months ago we had a talk, and I started the talk with you and me, with how do you feel about $19 silver? And then we went on to examine the reasons why we thought silver should be closer to $24, $25 per ounce, and a lot has changed since then, hasn't it? There's been some big developments we need to talk about, but even more importantly, we need to talk about volatility, because I'm seeing volatility in two key areas related to precious metals, and I want to know what you think about this. I'm seeing volatility in the actual price of the metals, albeit within a narrow range, but I've never experienced volatility like this in the past. Secondly, I'm seeing big volatility within the premiums, and we've got some big news in that regard as well. Let's talk about it, you and me. Let's do it right now. I'm hearing from all over that premiums on silver products in particular are dropping precipitously. Are you experiencing that when you go to your local coin shop? Are you seeing that when you shop online? I took a quick look last night, and a lot of the big online retailers, they're still basically charging $280 for a 10-ounce silver bar, when the spot price of silver is close to $24. So I wouldn't say the premiums are like getting real reasonable or anything like that, but I want to hear from you what you're seeing, what you're feeling. But since they're all saying, the big guys, right, the big dealers saying, oh, premiums are dropping, we need to examine why. And it's quite simple. It's because price fixes everything. The price did go up about $5 per ounce. That decreased the demand for physical silver, just temporarily, don't worry. We aren't in any big trouble or anything. And when demand goes down and supply goes up, those premiums are naturally going to shrink. But what else is happening in the market? And by the way, we're going to talk more about premiums in a second. Are you big money? Are you holding out on me? Because the big money continues to drain the physical metal from the West, and it's all moving to the East. Yes, the vaults at the LBMA in London and the COMEX here in the United States of America, they're physical vaults, especially in the registered category, and that's the metal that they hold that can actually be sold, be delivered. Those levels continue to drop as big money players in the West, and in particular the East, are draining the metal. The other interesting thing is that the big ETFs, the SLV, their metal is also being drained. Because if you're Mr. Big Bucks and you own a whole bunch of the SLV ETF, apparently you can request to actually have the metal delivered to you. The big key here is to realize these are sophisticated investors, almost as sophisticated as you and me, that are taking this metal off the exchanges, taking delivery of the physical metal. And while I've called you sophisticated, I also want to tell you I'm really glad you decided to join me here in Ron's Basement. You're always welcome here. We love to talk about silver. We love to talk about gold. We're kind of like the Mr. Rogers neighborhood for precious metal lovers. I hope you find some refuge here, some friendship, right? Because, hey, you know what? You can consider me a friend. It's good to have friends in life. I hope you decide to come back. You can subscribe right there, I think it is. And please give the video a thumbs up. Now let's continue with our talk about these big developments in the precious metals market. And don't you worry, I'm going to hit you with an ad for BONDEX iron-on patches here in a little bit. But first, let's realize this also. In February of 2021, you remember that? My birthday's in February, so I remember that. February 2021, there was this little thing called the silver squeeze. At that time, the LBMA had almost 120 million ounces of silver in their vault. You know how much they have now? Less than 25% of that, like 30 million ounces. The big money, the smart money, and me and you, the smarter money, are draining the silver from the world. And are you a member of Wall Street Silver? That's a Reddit community of people who are super enthusiastic about buying and stacking silver, realizing the true value of silver. If you're not, you might want to check it out. It now has over 235,000 members, and it's growing at a rapid rate. The number of people, you and me and other people all around the world that love silver are continuing to grow. But it makes us feel good, too, to realize that even though we're growing, we're still just a sliver of a sliver, like 0.5% of the world's population. That would mean we're 1 in 200 people. We are not part of the herd, right? The herd doesn't even realize the value of silver and gold yet. With just 1 or 2 more of those 200 people, the herd come over to join us, we already have all the silver and gold. We'll be happy to welcome them, but the price and the value will be much higher at that point. Next, we're going to talk about volatility in the actual price of the metals and in the premiums, and that's where things get super interesting. First, I want to mention to you, if you haven't already in your life, you need to discover BONDEX iron-on patches. I'm going to put a link to a video I made about these patches in the description, in the pinned comment below. You can even go check them out on Amazon. Look, we all have a favorite shirt, favorite pants, right? You may have noticed this old red polo shirt of mine. It's been a favorite for over 30 years. Just a few problems. I keep blowing out the elbows on each side, and I want to keep the shirt. I want to wear it. You can easily fix your clothes with BONDEX iron-on patches. Why throw it away? Why fill up the landfill? I know you're a bleeding heart environmentalist, but I'm telling you, these things really work, and they can add years to your favorite piece of clothing. I don't know, maybe this shirt is like a special to me because I've always worn it from the very beginning here in Ron's Basement when I've been able to connect with awesome people like you. Don't forget, check out BONDEX patches. I'm going to put a link in the description and the pinned comment below. I know I'm saying that for the second time now. Let's talk about volatility of gold and silver. That's why you are here. First, let's just talk about the price volatility that I've observed. I don't know if you've seen this. It seems like in particular in the last 2 months, gold and silver both on a given day. Today, for instance, it's moved like $30 up and down, like big moves within a range, right? Because the price has been going up, but the volatility on an hourly or even like daily basis is like nothing I've ever seen. And here's the big key with that. Periods of extreme volatility like that within tight ranges often precede major moves in any market, in many other areas of nature and life. This crazy up and down we're seeing all the time could be foreshadowing a big move. Now, of course, we want that move to be up, right? Or a break, like something is going to break, right? Like, and if the market in silver or gold were to break, that could only result in higher prices. Now, look, I don't have a crystal ball. You know that. But this volatility, I know it can be gut-wrenching, could be foreshadowing good things to come in the price of the metals. Now, the second area of volatility, which is equally as interesting, is in the premiums. I heard one of the top bullion dealers in the country, Andy Scheckman, last night talking about volatility, and he said he's never seen premiums shoot up as fast as they had, but more importantly, he hasn't seen them drop as fast as they have just recently. And I'm sure I have that right. If I don't, Andy, please let me know. But if the premiums are acting crazy like that as well, I don't know, guys. When I read the tea leaves, tell me what you think. I think, again, this could be portending, we'll say foreshadowing great things to come within the metals markets. This will blow your mind. Well, it blew my mind. Let me know if it blows your mind as well. But the total amount of registered silver in the vault And again, that's the actual silver that can be sold, that can be delivered. And I forget which one of the exchanges it was, the LBMA or the COMEX. Doesn't really make any difference. Those are the two big exchanges, right, where the electronic price of silver and gold are determined. They have like a little bit of physical metal in their vault, but they've got like multiples. I think with silver, some people say like 500 to 1 electronic paper silver. And there's another name for that. I'm having a hard time remembering that paper electronic silver that's really not backed up with anything. Oh yeah, unicorn fart dust silver. Nonetheless, the actual registered silver in the vaults, like, I don't know, 30 million ounces. Think about this. This is the mind-blowing part. Make sure you're sitting down. That's less than 10% of what India imported just last year, okay? 10% of what India imported. They brought in over 300 million ounces. That's 35% of the entire year's mine output. The future looks bright for the price of the precious metals on many different directions. Who knows, right? We know the price can go down, but we know the value. That's the important part. And we know the long-term thesis, the long-term value. Thank you again for joining me here in the basement, putting up with me. I do hope you feel like you have a new friend. You're always welcome. Just a click away. Come join me here in the basement. I'll see you next time.